everybody. Welcome back to Fun, a podcast where we take things very seriously. You know, it's very serious business around here, all right? And we're topical. We're on top of it. New things happen at theme parks. I'm there with your favorite vloggers, your favorite content creators, and we're talking about it. And this week is unlike any other week because it's FanFest week. Hollywood Universal Studios, they did some business, and I want to talk about it. You can see I'm cool. I'm like from Hill Valley. You know, I got like a headband on and sunglasses. I'm cool. I'm a fan. All right, and I want to fest. With me, as always, is the Chuckle Wizard, Nathan, the wonderful
evening,
producer extraordinaire. Thank you, Nathan.
Yeah, you know, it's so nice that we can finally claim theme parks for nerds. Like, get out of here, jocks. Like, it's time
because,
for
you
the
know,
nerds.
those were the guys that were there, you know, being like, I'm the walking ATM. I hate those men.
I saw a FanFest video and a guy came up and he was wearing Abercrombie and Fitch and they said, "No, sir, you are preppy. You are preppy from 2005 and you are not allowed in here anymore." And
they got out. They got kicked out. Xanthar kicked them right out. Well, we have special guests, Nathan. Did you have a bit for this? I don't want to steamroll any of your bits.
No, if I cared enough, I would stop you cold and tell you I have a bit and we're going to start again.
I appreciate that about you. You're all business when it comes to your bits.
I am. It's the only thing I care about. It's why I do the show.
Is your bits. Yeah, I get it. I get it.
I have a bit.
Uh-oh. You can't talk before I introduce you, bro. Like, what is...
Sorry, are we gonna...
Jesus.
Jesus.
Oh,
no. He's my kind of guy.
All right, well...
I appreciate the dad joke.
In true fashion, Kevin Heimbach introduces himself.
Yeah, for those who can't see on our...
He storms right in. But Nathan
he held
and I
up
have
a
two
bit.
very special guests. You saw the title of the episode. It's Peter from Ordinary Adventures. Peter, what's going on?
Thanks for having me.
I got rad glasses like you, bro. I got rad glasses like you.
Well, you know what? Like I said on Star Wars Day last week, I was like, Star Wars Day is every day in my house. Well, you know what? Back to the Future Day is every day in my house. So you're
right.
just
Every
here for
day is a fan fest in your life. You are a fan fest. And Kevin Heimbach, your podcast, your vlog is just Kevin Heimbach, right? It was just, it's just your name, straight up.
Yeah,
straight up, top to bottom. Social security number as the subtitle.
He wasn't like, I'm going to put a large company in front of my name because it's an alliteration, and that won't cause me any trouble in the future.
What? So, like, during my college program, my nickname is Little Churro in the videos, so people be screaming that at me in the middle of the park. I was like, I don't want to hear this. All right, we're just sticking with Kevin.
Well, from what I know about straight men in the college program, that is a really unfortunate nickname for you to have, my friend. I'm really sorry. Many of our past and future guests of this podcast have met their spouses through the college program. Others have been traumatized. It's been a real mixed bag. How did it affect you, Kevin?
So I met my girlfriend in line for Space Mountain. So there you go.
There you go.
7 years, 8 years. So I guess, college program is like, I guess, the greatest dating.
Did you ride on this? Did you ride on the same vehicle that day?
No.
Okay,
no,
so there's not
I knew her friend, and then the crazy thing is I have video footage because she was like making fun of me. So I have video footage of me meeting her for the first time. So
wow,
that's cool.
Yeah,
that's cool.
How sweet, how romantic. The college program changing lives. So Kevin, before we get into FanFest, and we're going to get into FanFest, and Peter, if you could just stay with me for a moment, I just have to put on my theme park therapist hat. Kevin, can we just talk about you being the rowdiest celebrity on Twitter? Because in the theme park community, I mean, Wallin Ballin is fine. God bless him. I think he's got some good takes. But when Kevin posts anything about anything, it's always amazing because everyone goes on to hate him. And sometimes they're usually fairly base takes. But I have to ask you, what is it? Are you playing the game? Are you playing the game?
No, look, I think people should know, like, the live updates about what's happening, right? Because, like, if you show what's actually happening right then and there, it's like people can't edit that out. Like, when all the lights are going on and off at all these Lowe's hotels, like, it was miserable. It was so bad. Like, so, that's what was happening. I want to show people what's actually happening during these openings.
Here's a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you consider the bias of you being a content creator, like ingesting these things in their infancy or also on their like kind of like media or like overrun opening weekends, and that experience doesn't necessarily reflect the larger experience
So
do you comment on the nuance of that?
So like, yes, there's always going to be a little bit of growing pains, but these openings that happen for Lowe's, all those hotels, those are not standard little, oh, this isn't right, this isn't right. Those are massive problems which still are not fixed. So
right. These are like Ocean's 12 casino, someone sabotaging the casino by drilling deep underneath it. I know Ocean's 12 isn't. That's Ocean's 13. That's Ocean's 13.
Yeah, Ocean's 13 was when they do the
Al Pacino's casino. Which is a fun thing to say.
Yeah.
Pacino's Casino.
Al Pacino's Casino.
I can't believe we don't have Pacino's Casino online betting. That is just it's golden. Yellow Shoes, call me. We'll get Pacino's Casino. So I think that what's interesting about your Twitter takes is that you're right. You are there. You're witnessing the growing pains, and you're just kind of like talking about them and documenting them. Yeah. And people are like, I don't know. I know this is like a family podcast, but like I feel like some people have like a cuck relationship with theme parks in that like they like to seethe at like other people having joy, and like it makes them tingle in a weird way, and they have to like get it out. You know what I mean? Like they get off, like Disney fans like get off weirdly at Universal fans like having joy or criticism of anything, and they have to like dissect the criticism of that thing to like feel something because nothing else is going on for them. Like they work a 9 to 5 and like like no one they just talk to the people they talk to or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But we have an unhealthy relationship with like what we stand for, and that people who like have authentic experiences. All right. Anyway, but that's a whole nother episode of Fun.
So real quick. So Peter and I talked about this. If this stuff happened at Disney, we would never hear the end of it. We'd be roasting Disney for all the time. If Disney does one little thing wrong, everybody piles on, and it's like, but Universal messes up on these little things, and then you point them out, and it's like, oh no, they can do no wrong. So I think that's the, I guess, hypocrisy of like, if Disney did something, people would be on board to roast it. But with Universal, right? Universal's trying to compete with Disney to try to be just as good as them, so they should be held to that exact same standard, right? So
sure. So Peter, you run into these fandoms all the time because you're out there making content in both parks. You didn't decide to be like, oh, I'm Disney Dad, I'm only going to talk about Mickey Mouse, like you wave the flag in all different theme park directions. So as you make content from both sides and criticize things, praise things, like what is it about? Like, why do you think these people get so unregulated about things like hotel lights and French fries and, like tater tots? Like what is going on?
I don't know. People seem to like love something so much that they think they need to defend it. Like, Disney has pixie dusters. What does Universal have, Kevin?
You can cut it if you want. A globe gobbler.
Globe gobbler? We're not cutting that.
Wait, I'm cutting that.
Pixie dusters and globe gobblers? Jesus, you close to been married.
It's like the Universal Globe, right? Like, it's at every park. So
you start tweeting that. I can't wait to see how people take that, man.
No, cut that from the bit. I'm not kidding.
It's too late.
It's too late. That's already been posted to Twitter. Sorry, that's
already. It's our biggest
we're live in Times
viral
Square.
Clip of all time already. It's
this
already
podcast has gone off the rails even faster than normal.
Globe gobblers.
You know what it is, Dan? To be honest, I think it's just that people don't have religion anymore. I'm not even.
You are so right, dude. It's just people don't have that. They used to fill that void of having ownership over some kind of big mystical thing, and that has kind of been replaced with like their entertainment. Their entertainment's their new god. We've done the golden calf thing. That Moses, I think it was Moses or Noah. Someone said, "Don't do this," and we're doing it now. And it's interesting that our morality comes from media like this in a big way. Like a lot of it does. And so we have that unnatural relationship with it. But it's crazy how some people like really get stirred up into like sort of like it's not even like rage baiting. It's like they're legitimately like just it's drinking the soup, man. It's like, hey man, let's all chill out. Let's all chill.
You have to be a full person, and a lot of people aren't full people. Like they've not they're not taking the time to like develop as a person outside of a.
They haven't lived a full life. Nathan's a college professor. Don't listen to him. He's a snob.
As the only one who doesn't make content here, maybe I'm the only one with the.
You don't make content, baby. You're producing this. What do you mean
That's
you don't
true,
make content?
But this is slop. No one cares about this.
Old-timey westerns.
Nothing.
Don't act like you don't make content. You're in the clown space just as much as the rest of us.
That's true.
That's true. But anyway, so welcome back. What a great opening discussion.
But also, I'll say this, Stan. It is weird that you see so much criticisms of influencers not showing the real story. They're just showing the perfect way things are. And then you have Kevin, who sometimes shows you what's happening, and then he gets ripped to shreds. And he's like, oh, you're just trying to find a problem. And it's like, do you want which way do you want it? Do you want it the so perfect and everything is perfect, or do you want to see the when there's something going wrong?
Right, yeah, that's interesting because you both have experienced media day type things. You've experienced events at limited capacity that are designed for content capture and for capturing all the experiences. How do you feel like that affects the way you make content around those experiences versus buying a ticket and just showing up? Not that to say that either of your content isn't inauthentic, but it represents a different version of the thing, right? You're showing two different versions of something, how do you ever talk about that in the vlogs? I mean, I love you guys, but I don't watch all your videos, but cause I can barely watch my videos. Are you do you talk about that? Do you have ownership of that in the content making of media day versus opening day,
Well, here's the thing. We went to Disney's new private island, Lookout Key.
Right.
Key.
Fly Island.
And we were one of the first sailings there, and there was flies infesting the island. You couldn't even eat the food. You had to cover your plates. And we showed that. And we explained in the video, we're they'll probably fix this. Do you know what I mean? Disney has the money to get pesticides and whatever and fix this, but we're not going to not show it to you.
I mean, when you don't see an insect in Florida, that tells you everything you need to know.
But we're going to show people that problem, and then we're going to concentrate our efforts on the theming here does not look Joe Rohde. It looks Bob Chapek budget cut theming. So we're honest about that, but I think it's where you focus your criticism, because we're going to show what's really happening and not pretend there's flies trying to eat our food while we're eating and there's flies buzzing all over us. You can't hide that. But
you're the lord of the flies at that point.
Yeah.
It looked like a Hitchcock movie. Look at all the birds are attacking. That was Peter versus all the flies. That's what's going on.
Yeah, but.
Well, I guess here's the question then. How do you feel this new FanFest? Let's talk about it. Let's start talking about it, because that's what we're here for.
I mean, we've been talking about fans this whole time. I think it's all on topic.
You two both have experienced it. I've just experienced it through your content and through others' content, clips online and stuff like that. What is the deal with this new event? Is it Halloween Horror Nights? Is it...
Dan, could you give maybe the 5 people that are
I'm asking them to explain what it is.
Oh, okay.
I'll explain it. So this is confusing, and I think many people when they announced this were confused because they were it's FanFest nights, and they have all these properties. They have Back to the Future, Star Trek, Dungeons and Dragons, some anime stuff I don't know about, and am I missing anything?
Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yes,
that's all. It's just in Fortnite. That's all I know.
Yoshi,
Mario, and everybody thought because it's called FanFest nights that each night one night's going to be a Back to the Future night, kind of like how Disney does it. But no, they were just trying to copy Halloween Horror Nights and used the Nights is the brand name, I guess, or whatever.
Is it officially called the FanFest Nights?
Yeah, FanFest Nights is what it's called.
So
yeah. The marketing for this thing is not very good.
I didn't even realize that, Peter. So it's really mixed messaged marketing initially when they're hey, we're doing this thing. And it was very vague in a way.
And I feel like the marketing doesn't show much. It shows a guy dressed as Marty McFly going into... By the way, the Marty McFly costume of having that vest, the easiest cosplay ever, and everybody that goes to this event is Marty McFly. There's you can go in there and count it's like a game to count that there's hundreds of Marty McFlys. We were almost going to do it on camera and but it just got too much, so we just abandoned it. Of how many Marty McFlys
Amazon pirate t-shirts on Pirate Night and Disney Cruise Line, red vests overflowed the space. That's incredible. That's incredible. Did you have a vest? Did either of you vest up? Did you dress up?
Allison did. I dressed up as Doc, and then my girlfriend dressed up as Marty.
Yeah, you son of a bitch, stealing my costumes and events bit. taking away my hard-working ideas, stealing them like a real vlogger. You despicable prick.
Nothing will ever beat your treasure cosplays, dude. That was so good.
I can't. I have so much more. God forbid if these tariffs, man, are murdering businesses left and right. It's going to be a rough year if you like merchandise. So, but maybe I'll be able to afford more bits in the future. We'll have to see. Hopefully. Hopefully, like a Target lightsaber won't cost $350 due to import tariffs. So,
Dan, you're saying that these costumes aren't made in America?
No, and these popcorn buckets and these sippers and these beignet holders and these Loungefly backpacks and these Mickey ears and your bubble wands and your pins, everything about your convenience consumerism, America. Anyway, so did you guys dig it? Was it good?
Yeah.
And were you invited or let's disclose, were you invited or did you ticket up?
I paid for the 2-night ticket, so it was $65 a night. So it was like $130. Yeah,
Super
dude, nothing.
affords.
For 7 hours. That's
crazy.
I ended up paying.
Yeah, so like Disney does an After Dark event, and like you go there, and it's like what 3-4 hours of time that you get of the actual event.
Right. Oh, you're saying it was 7 hours of the event.
It lasted till 2 a.m.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I guess the park and like particularly like the tram tour area of Universal Hollywood has the convenience of doing that though. The other parks don't. Like it's not like you could like you'd have to like I don't know pave Rivers of America and like make a land that was or fill in the lagoon at Epcot and put a carousel in it. I don't know. We might make Celestial Park Epcot World Showcase. It might happen, guys. Don't.
So there are some differences later in the night. So they were filming the Burbs, the new like Peacock version of it. So they had to like shut down kind of Hill Valley towards the end of the night, so they couldn't do the band. And then after midnight, they can't do the clock tower explosion. So there are some differences because you're at an active studio from the houses nearby, and then also the production's happening.
Wow.
We're sorry, everybody. The Joe Dante reboot has got to happen. You're all going to ignore when it comes out, but it's got to happen. It's got to happen. So
I'm curious. Is there something? And I was going to talk about it at the end, but before we go really into it, is there something that Disney has done or Universal has done in the past that is like this in terms of its storytelling and its execution? Because it's not, even when people say it's Halloween Horror Nights, it's not, because it's different than just like a single file walkthrough sort of thing. It's more like Poseidon Adventure, where you're traveling as in groups through experiences, and it's really cool. And I'm trying to think have we done this before? Is this a thing that we've done before that either of you guys have experienced?
Not that I can think of.
Well, I would say the Star Cruiser is pretty close to Peter Experience, kind of like Hill Valley, this overarching story. And then Knott's Berry Farm, they do like Ghost Town Alive. So they're kind of the original theme park, that overarching story that you can follow different characters.
Right. Yeah. That was like the whole bit there for a while. People were like falling in love with like jail keepers and stuff, getting drunk on the Knott's Berries. Okay. So that's pretty, and I know that like they did Electronica and they did like the Mad Tea parties at California Adventure back in the day, and even like contemporary. There it is, like them rocking out. But even that wasn't story driven as much as it was just immersive, like vibey spaces. Where you could hang out with all these and even the contemporary did like an Alice like New Year's party where you could like meet the talking doorknob and have like a Danish with the Mad Hatter or whatever, but that none of it was really as story driven as like this is. So I don't feel like I've seen it done in the parks before as like a specialty event.
Wait, I want to be back. I'm gonna get you something cool. I want to show you.
So while he's doing that, I was trying to think through this.
Kevin's never done a podcast before. He doesn't understand.
Yeah. Kevin doesn't.
No problem. It's no problem. He thinks it's
God
a Zoom.
bless him. God bless him.
So anyway, I think that the thing that's interesting here is that Disney doesn't play. Like Disney doesn't play with others. Like that's the thing. Is it's hard to say like, well, how would Disney do this? Okay, it's like, well, Disney already utilizes their properties in their parks. They're not reaching out to others necessarily and saying, hey, we don't have a land that we can dedicate to this property, but we would like to showcase it. And then you could say like, I mean, they could do like a Princess Night, or they could do, I don't know. I'm trying to think of like deep cuts.
I mean, they do stuff like that. First of all, I got invited to go to it as media, but I liked it so much that I paid and went back. So
cool.
I love a disclosure.
Number 2, Disney does these After Dark events. They do Princess Night, but like all they do is they add some unique food. They have some unique photo ops. It's not ever what Universal does with Halloween Horror Nights is so incredible because they build. What is it, Kevin? 8, 10? How many houses?
Well, 10 in Orlando. Yeah.
10 houses in Orlando. They construct from nothing. And it's like these I can't even imagine Disney doing anything like that. I guess for Oogie Boogie Bash they do
that would
the
be the
trail
closest
thing.
Yeah. But even that is just sort of like those are staged productions. Like it's a singular stage production and you kind of go from individual ones. I guess that's probably the closest thing they get to deep cuts. A Judge Doom is a deep cut. Like a Hades is it's a deep cut. And I think that they don't necessarily. I'm trying to think like what would be a thing Disney could like really dive deep in their archives where it's like, I don't know, would you bring like What About Bob characters out? Like what like Disney doesn't have like it's not like there's
such a good movie.
Oh, I love it. Look, man, you want to give me a Bob Wiley in his shirt with his goldfish around his neck? Great. But like, yeah, it'd be a weird thing to do because
non-American parks have done this kind of stuff though. Non-American Disney parks have done it. Like Disneyland Paris had a Pirates vs. Princess party where you could kind of like join an allegiance and like kind of like hang out with certain characters, and then at the end they had a big dance party that you'd all participate in. So like there are I know of a lot of like kind of events like this that happen elsewhere and are super cool. But Disney has so many properties they're sitting on. They don't need to partner with anyone. They could just do what they could just do. Like Batu is right for something like this. I feel like it feels really like, come on, let's do it. It's a movie set, guys. Like you built a movie set. Like it's so cinematic. Let's cinematic it up.
Yeah.
Well, even when they had the Star Cruiser, and I got to go on the Star Cruiser 4 times, I think.
Damn, Peter.
Humble brag.
Hey. Get when you can.
Hey! I spent a lot of money for this 4 times. We fit many people in many of small cabins to be able to do that.
You're the neighbors in the Doug cartoon on Nickelodeon. You're dinking it hard, man. You're dinking it up.
No. Yeah. we were able to do it because we could pay $1,300 a person, which is still a lot of money, but $1,300 a person.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Not $6,000 a person. But what I was going to say is, Batu is a big part of that Star Cruiser experience in the story. You like the second day you take a shuttle down to Batu and you have to like do missions and stuff like that. And you would think that they would have had characters and done some of that as part of that, and they didn't. Like all the stuff in Batu was like on your phone, was data pad stuff, was
and it's
going
so
on
wild
the rides.
Because they had every opportunity to mess with your sleep schedule and like put you into the park after it closes or before it opens, because like you don't experience real time. They could have you on 18-hour days for all you know. And so like they had the perfect opportunity to like send you on a night mission or something and do that and like fill it up, but not Disney, baby. I don't know. Too corporate.
Well, yeah, I think it's infrastructure, right? What it comes down to is infrastructure. This is utilizing decades now of Horror Nights infrastructure and understanding space needs and things of that nature,
for sure.
And how you run a temporary line and how you do this stuff. Disney, they do stuff, but they don't do it. They never did anything like Horror Nights, so they would be starting from scratch. Whereas this is really just an evolution of what Universal's already been up to for years.
Right.
Let's walk through the event. Let's talk about it. Let's talk Back to the Future. Let's like dig into what it was, because it was like an immersive theater piece, right? Like, tell me about it.
Yeah. So first, they've been working on this event for a while. Like, it's not like they're just throwing together. They've been working on it for a while. So
Right.
This is just the start of FanFest. There's going to be more. Yeah. So
I can't wait to see what happens.
Let me just say that first of all, Back to the Future is my favorite movie of all time. Like when I was a kid, I would just watch it on repeat on VHS on a tape that we recorded on HBO. And I would actually have like a piece of paper and I would like map out Hill Valley and like how in like Back to the Future 2, the Toyota dealership would end up being a horse dealer. Like you'd find out like all those. I was just like such a nerd, and like none of my friends love Back to the Future. Now it seems like everybody's favorite movie is Back to the Future. But like when I was a kid, like my friends were like, Ghostbusters or Star Wars, whatever. And I was Back to the Future, and I always dreamed of going to California, going to Courthouse Square. This is a part of the backlot of Universal. And a few years ago, we were invited on a VIP tour. To cover a VIP tour, and we got to get off the tram and walk around the Courthouse Square, and I was like, it will never get better than this. This is like the greatest thing ever, that I'm walking around the set from my favorite movie of all time, and you know what? It's gotten like 1 billion times better. This is like the best thing I've ever experienced. Did
Mr. Strickland give you a detention? Did you get detention?
I didn't. Kitra did. But so let's explain this. So you get onto the tram. Doc Brown tells you that you're going to get sent back in time. Doesn't make any sense how it happens or why it happens. There's not even any effects.
And we've reduced the speed greatly because these things only hit like 23 miles an hour. So like, but we figured it out. We did the science.
Yeah. So then you get off the tram at Hill Valley. You get to, in every hour, I think there's a loop of like 45-minute story that goes on, and it starts with Marty McFly showing up in 1955 for the first time, walking in, seeing the Lion Estates being built, his home, and it goes through the entire story of Back to the Future with characters throughout the film, and it all takes place in a condensed 40-minute kind of chunk, and then it loops again over and over again. But the cool thing is you can follow a character. Like I know Kevin, when he was doing his videos, he was like, tonight I'm just going to follow Biff for the night. And he just like followed Biff and saw all the stuff Biff did.
That's a real butthead move, Kevin, just so you know.
Yeah. But it had a lot of the immersive vibes that you got from Star Cruiser, which I loved. But I would describe it more as like you're participating in a movie sing-along, rather than Star Cruiser felt like you were an active participant inside a movie, if that makes sense. Sure. So it's a little bit different. You're not as interactive, but yeah.
Was it easy to capture the whole story? Or is it easy to like see it all?
I feel like everybody's already seen the film, so they know the story plot. It's like whatever scene you wanted to be in is what you could go do. Right. And then if you miss it, it's a 45-minute long set. So my favorite thing about it was like, it's almost like a real timeline where it's like, all right, there's a beginning, middle, and end. Everybody has their different spot they need to hit. But then there's all these people who aren't part of the timeline who now are affecting this timeline. So every 45 minutes, it's a different kind of flow of a timeline because of these different interactions. So the rewritability is just like endless. There's so many different things. You can go every single night and it'll be a whole new experience where like,
it almost feels to me like they need to sell passes like they did for, Halloween, Mickey's Not So Scary that one year, so you can just go back and experience it like season passes for FanFest.
They do.
Oh wow, there you go.
Yeah.
Well.
They do. Yeah.
It's called the Fandom Pass, and
terrible name.
Yeah,
terrible name.
But the other thing is, it's not just like rewatchability. I don't know what's the word.
Rewatchability.
Re-experienceability. I don't know. But the cool thing is like, because you have this cast that does it for you now, and then the next 45 minutes, it's a completely different cast that have different takes on Marty and Doc and
this is kind of a characters. It's kind of a dumb analogy, but does it feel a little bit like a living history museum? You ever been to those like villages where they're like, I'm a barber in the 1800s or whatever?
Those are always so boring, and they always feel fake. Where this,
I know they're boring. Yeah, but like
they're supposed to be boring, man. Life was not fun before Twitter.
Without fully buying in.
I don't know. We always went to those like the Civil War reenactments, and I was always so bored. But it's like Peter said, this is one of our. Well, like it's like what Peter said. This is one of our favorite movies, so it's like you could be part of this movie because like you watch Star Wars, right? And Indiana Jones and Back to the Future, and you've always wanted to be in the film, and this is the first opportunity I think ever where I've actually felt like I'm part of something, and it's just not a ride, beginning, middle, and end. Like you're living in it. Like I was down there for 4 hours the first night, 2 hours the second night. Like it's a Back to the Future fan's biggest dream.
I'm curious what someone would have experienced. I would love to see an interview with someone who experienced this without having seen any of the Back to the Future movies to like know what that is like, because I don't even know you would understand anything.
No,
like it really.
It's kind of like all happening. I mean, it's not happening simultaneously, but it kind of is. You could theoretically walk backwards into the story. If you wanted to. So
it's so funny, Peter. The guys who make the MCU movie.
What a weird.
And it is taking place all simultaneously.
I think Dan was trying to say something. Dan is having a storm, so his recording is acting all aflutter right now.
Oh no.
Oh, we've lost him. He's going to reset. But don't worry. This is why you have a producer.
I got some info while he's reconnecting. So it is happening all simultaneously. So like you can be over in this corner where George is meeting Lorraine for the first time, or you can be over here with Biff, and like everything is going on at the same time. So watching it once, you are not able to see everything.
Okay, interesting. I do think it's kind of weird that you could just stand in one place and just be like, I'm here to watch the assault happen 3 or 4 times. I mean, that's the one thing that I can't wrap my mind around, is that they play the assault scene. Like
I will say
the punch I get, but it just feels weird. It just feels weird. But I don't know.
Well, you don't see the Marty and Lorraine bit. You don't see that. So they keep it family friendly, and like when George is punching Biff, it's not like a big punch. But every single time I watched it, there was a different, I guess, punch and a different end result. So
did the Biff do a good spin? Did they do a good punch
one time he like went against the car, one time he went straight down the ground, one time he did the spin. Like,
gotta do the spin. If you're not doing a full Michael Jackson 360 spin, you're not getting punched by George McFly. That's what I say. So my favorite photo op here is without question this fire element with the light. So for those who can't see, they did the fire streams from the tires, but the out of time license plate is basically connected into a motor that's been buried into the ground, and it's also rotating as it spins in the movie. This though is a poster background. So my question is like, because you mentioned they're doing other things with the area, did you sort of feel like you weren't getting a full, like, did it feel like Back to the Future, or did you sort of feel like I'm getting Back to the Future stuff in sort of present generic Hill Valley?
I mean, if you're going to nitpick it, and I, as a huge Back to the Future fan, it wasn't exactly Hill Valley. Like they didn't have Lou's Cafe there, where Lou's Cafe was like a gas station, and like it was just generic like storefronts and stuff. Like they didn't really spend too much money to recreate the stuff, but it was so awesome that it didn't.
You're there.
Bother me.
Right. It's the place, right? So as long as the clock tower's there, it kind of.
And they're also still filming. I believe yesterday I think someone posted they're filming a commercial right now. So I think they have to be able to take this stuff down real quick, so people can film commercials and then they'll put it up real quick. So they can't do too big of an overlay, I don't think, because it's still active.
It's interesting. Studio. It's interesting to me. I think that this area, and again, I'm not super familiar with Hollywood as much as I am Florida, but it is interesting that it's. I don't know It's been used in so much. I understand why it's still an active set, and used, but it's also like kind of a universal landmark at this point. It's just interesting that they've not just said, you know what, this is Hill Valley now. But I know it's not exactly where you could walk to it, and there's a lot of reasons for that.
Well, Universal Studios Great Britain, you'll be able to walk into Hill Valley, rumored, you all the concept art. So if that's what you're wanting, I think they'll probably do a 1-to-1 scale, right, of Courthouse Square. It's not too big for the theme park. Again, it's all rumored with the concept art, but I feel like if that's what you're really wanting, I think we're gonna be able to experience that, but overseas.
Yeah,
well,
for sure.
Well, that's what I wonder. I wonder if like they're gonna take is this concept, like when we were there on opening night, what's his name? The head of Universal, Mark or no? Oh my
God. Mark Woodbury.
Yes. Yeah. Mark Woodbury. It was escaping me. Was there. We saw him walking around, and you never see him at like HHN events, stuff like that. Like, so it really felt to me like he was there to see this because there's something going on. Like, you know, they want to make this FanFest Nights a big thing. It's like the sequel to Halloween Horror Nights. But I wonder if like this Great Britain thing, are they going to recreate the courthouse square, and then are they going to do this? Like, are they going to have characters out and like every like hour or every 2 hours they'll have like the events of Back to the Future play out, and it's like an interactive thing. And you know, also they're building a new roller coaster in Florida, and they could theoretically build a courthouse square there too. So you know, do you know how much merchandise Universal Studios sells of Back to the Future? They make so much money on that property. It just makes sense to me that they would try to make this a bigger thing in the parks.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting too. I think you're going to see some sort of, if they really do it, it'll do projection show with final lightning strike effect. I mean, that's a classic thing that you would do. That way, if you want to go over to Wizarding World, you can see that show, or it can split people into two different areas, or have it at sort of staggering times. So there's a lot that can be said. So this is the Universal property, right? They can do a lot with it. Let's talk about one that is not owned by Universal, but they have a long-standing relationship with, which is Paramount and Star Trek, which they kind of do a thing. I hear it's pretty short and a little underwhelming, but I'm curious your reactions. Are either of you? I mean, Peter, is there a bigger Star Trek fan in the world than Peter?
I'm honestly not a huge Star Trek fan. I like the Next Generation and I like the JJ movies. Kevin might like it more than me. I don't know.
No, I grew up with Stargate SG-1. That was my version of like Star Trek.
There you go. There you go. You were a Stargate household. So this is interesting. I am just a Next Gen guy because that's what you grew up. It was on Fridays. What are you going to do? It's still casual watchings, but I would say that this is a pretty hardcore thing for a lot of people still, and it's very popular for Paramount. As people who don't necessarily care about Star Trek, what did you think about this? Was it Star Trek Red Alert was the experience, I believe?
It was, so like that whole space it was the Walking Dead, like the permanent Walking Dead location, and then like they turned it into an HHN house. So like the layout is just not really meant for this experience, so they're just kind of shoehorning in this Star Trek experience. Like, oh, we have this set and this prop from the warehouse, let's just throw it into a room and try to come up with a story, where I feel like in the Dungeons and Dragons thing, they accomplished like a good overarching story, where this, I was like, what's going on? There's some space blob, and then the ship is being attacked, and now space blob is friendly. Then I was like, okay.
I mean, it was Kevin, the most anticlimactic ending to a thing ever. It didn't make any sense.
It's also 75% of Star Trek episodes are like,
oh really?
I mean, in the sense of we've come to understand this species, and we're not gonna like shoot 'em ups is a real J.J. Abrams Star Trek thing. Like Star Trek,
like give me little tribbles or something around.
Oh, I agree.
Like I would like that. I know what those are.
Yeah, yeah. I think from a walkthrough perspective, from watching it, it's not you can't tell a nuanced tale necessarily in a 10-minute like interactive walkthrough. Yeah. So.
I think maybe they should have made it longer, because all these experiences had at most a 5-minute wait. Like it was not like HHN. I think they were prepared for HHN. There was like switchbacks all throughout the sound stages and stuff for waiting for people, and they were selling express passes. My friends bought express passes and they didn't need to.
Did either of you go first night or first week, or when did you end up going? Was it do you feel like the wave might have crested by the time you got there, or?
Well, I went opening night, and then Peter also went opening night, and then we went again on Sunday. But it looks like the crowds are a lot busier now in Hill Valley from videos that I was seeing, because now it's the next week, so everybody's seen all this like awesome coverage of the event. Yeah. So I know Hill Valley slammed, but I think everything else is still kind of a walk on.
Yeah, Hill Valley slammed. They don't kick you out of there, so you can stay as long as you want, which I took advantage of. I was there for many hours. But
it's just called Back to the Future night for you at this point.
Yes, exactly. They could. I mean, it may have well. You know how I was saying how people thought it was going to be Back to the Future night. It may as well have been Back to the Future night.
Yeah.
By the way, they could do that. They could do Back to the Future night and then just bring Back to the Future the ride and the Simpsons ride. Like, I don't know, they could do stuff all around.
A Western area. Totally.
But the thing is, that's really popular. I think that's the most popular thing. And then the anime stuff that both Kevin and I don't really
people are happy about it, which is great.
But it's really popular. It's like, half an hour to meet some of these people and some of these characters. And there's like some show from Universal Japan that they put in the DreamWorks Theater, and they didn't even like redo. Like they literally like mention Universal Japan in the show.
Yeah. It's a full, like, here's a thumb drive with the show. Just plug it in and let's go. Which is cool, actually. Like
that stuff is really popular. Like I was I mean, I knew anime is popular, but I didn't know it was like this stuff was that popular, and it was cool to see. And like the merch was selling out, but like the Star Trek thing, like you said, people love Star Trek. Like never wait, Nathan. It was interesting. It was never wait, and Dungeons and Dragons never wait, and Back to the Future never wait to get down to Hill Valley, and then it was packed down there. So I don't know if this is successful or not, but it seems like the feedback is so positive that they are going to be doing more of them and exploring it more. And what I would hope for them to do is to do more things like the Back to the Future thing, not just because I love Back to the Future, but like this group pulsed experience thing was a little weird. It was like, it felt like it was designed to rush you through this, big sound stage of an H-Gen maze. And it would have been cooler if we could have just spent, a half an hour in that space, talking to characters, getting sent on missions.
Oh my God, he's back. Dan's back.
Perhaps.
Oh no.
We'll see for how long.
The storm. We have storm coverage coming in from Dan. Dan, how is Storm?
It's brutal.
Charlie.
It's miserable out here. It's miserable out.
We wish you all the best, and hopefully you will stay safe during this trying time.
It's not the Twister attraction at Universal Studios, man. It's just
you gotta write it out, Dan. Write it out.
You gotta write it out.
Some call it the finger of God.
Are we done with Star Trek? Because I don't care about Star Trek at all, so that's fine.
Yeah, we talked about Star Trek. I just bounced for Star Trek.
Oh, this was all calculated. It wasn't even he had a storm. He just didn't want to hear about Star Trek.
Yep.
He just wanted to go take a poop.
Yep, I just skipped right out. Well, I'm excited to talk about Dungeons and Dragons. That looked pretty interesting.
You want to talk about puppets is what you want to talk about. This is what you want to talk about.
I want to talk about puppets.
Can you tell me how many?
Now, how in the hell are they going to have a huge puppet like this in a room and not have people see it? But they did the old tricky Poseidon adventure, Cosmic Rewind, raise a wall sort of thing. So it's a really cool experience. Is it the same every time you go through for everybody, or like is it a different experience each time you go through?
It's like subtly different. There's two different, I think, avenues that you can go. So I only went through it once, but I went to the right, and I think to the left is slightly different.
Are there two puppets?
Fork in the road.
Is that how?
No.
Okay, no. So it's just where you stand makes it a little different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this puppet was designed by Jim Henson Studios. It's 12 feet across and high, and it's huge. It looks amazing. It is, and Dan, when you go into that room, they have the characters like all in one corner. So like you don't even look at the wall. Like you don't even know that is there unless you would even know to look for it. And then like when he shows up, it's amazing.
How's it like moving through these spaces as a group versus normally moving through them in a single file line? And like, how is it hitting these story beats? And like, from your experience doing many Halloween Horror Nights, like, is it more enjoyable with 50 people at a clip versus just single file? Like, what was that like?
So if you've ever done like the San Diego Comic-Con kind of experiences right outside the convention, this is a lot like that, right? Where you kind of go in, you see these big spectacle moments. Where I feel like with Halloween Horror Nights, you're a single file line, and you can go through dozens of times because you're kind of rushed through and notice little things. Where this, I feel like you have more time to spend in the room, so you can notice the details. So I feel like the hardcore fans will enjoy this more. Where I feel like HHN, the hardcore fans want to see more, but they can't. So if that makes sense, right, Peter? I don't know. Does that?
Yeah. It did feel like I was saying before Dan magically appeared again.
I beamed out and then I beamed back in.
Back to the fun podcast.
You love Star Trek.
I mean, I get look, Pete. I get 1.5 funds at least.
1.5,
maybe
funds?
At least one by myself.
But okay. But what I was saying is the group pulse experience is a little weird. I don't think they figured it out. This felt like a first year thing that they were trying to figure out, and I kind of wish they could have used this space and like had us more explore it at our own, like, not pace, but like it was like Back to the Future where we could follow one wizard over to the corner and it would all the storylines would converge, and you know it.
Is there just not enough space for that, like in general, to do those kind of narrative? Like, don't you need that amount of space that a Hill Valley area can give you? I
think they had that amount of, like, they took out that Dungeons and Dragons stage was in. Oh my God, what is that stage? Stage 16? It's the
Massive.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
oh wow.
Huge.
Okay, yeah.
And like when they build an HHN house in the stage, it just takes up like 1/5 of the stage. This took up the entire stage, or almost the entire stage. So it was a huge space. But like, I think they designed it so that like, while one group was in room 1, another group was in room 2, and another group was in room 3. So they're moving, you know, when group 1 goes into room 2, then they add in, you know, the
Great
next
Escape
grouping.
style.
So they're yeah. So I think it was built to have a maximum capacity to get a lot of people through it. But
of course, this wasn't built for art.
Yeah, but I think
money.
you could have taken that amount of people and you could have had them just be able to go into most of the spaces and then had the same amount of time. You know,
you like the amount of time of Hill Valley. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
The ability to, because did you feel where you mentioned both of you have mentioned how you don't get kicked out of Hill Valley. You technically get kicked out of everything else, right? Like in the sense of like keep moving. And my guess is like these experiences only work very well if you get to ingest them. You know, like if you feel like you're getting something that's not, it's your own experience, right? If you can spend enough time in Hill Valley, you know, Kittrick getting a thing from Strickland is that's worth the price of admission. You just had a moment that can't be replicated, whereas everything else is replicated, right? You're doing what everyone else is doing. So that's interesting.
They had some moments in some of the watchers I saw of the Dungeons and
fun.
Dragons where like it's like, hey, touch this ball, or hey, do this thing for me, or hey, help me. So like some people did have their moments in the experience, but by and large, it felt like it was just like a herd of people moving
Star Trek
through
2, I think there was like 1 or 2 people that click things, right?
Right. Yeah. Which is, hey, if you get to be that guy, cool.
I think it was less interactive in the Star Trek thing. But even the Dungeons and Dragon thing, it was like, hey, guy next to the ball, touch the ball. Like it wasn't like, it didn't really feel like we were a meaningful part of it. It really felt like we were watching something, whereas in Back to the Future, it felt more interactive and more fun.
Right.
So I think the universe has kind of done this before when the Death Eaters would come out. Peter, did you ever see that? There'd be a show moment. The Death Eaters come out. They can interact with all the crowd. There is different moments that happen, and then they leave. It's like a 20-minute set. So I think they've kind of done that before. But you're right. You could spend time in that world, interact with them. Where I feel like maybe the Wizarding World needed something like that because they're just kind of the magical creatures. Well, we'll get to that, I guess.
Well, let me ask you about. Sorry, Dan. I've done full host since you've been doing Stormwatch.
It's all right. It's fine. I'll just be sitting back here. You do it.
If you please take over your podcast. The thing that I think is interesting is we've talked about independent experience. We've talked about replicated experience, but we've not really talked about the gamification element, which is what you get with the Yoshi thing, right? Don't you have to get specific constant. First of all, let me show you this picture that I think it was Orlando.
Is it self-reporting gaming element? That's the question I have. Is it self-reporting like the Epcot?
This is the most David Lynchian photo of Yoshi I've ever seen.
No. Well, so you have to get a sticker from each team member when you see the egg. It's it's over there. Then they'll give you the sticker. Yeah.
It wasn't fun though. It was annoying. Stickers.
That's what I've been hearing. It's time.
It was annoying. How was it annoying?
I just want to meet Yoshi. It wasn't like a fun game of like finding eggs. It was just like, let me meet Yoshi. I want to meet Yoshi.
Peter, you can do that. You can meet the green Yoshi, but if you really want to meet the colored Yoshi, then you got to go through the scavenger hunt. It's a reward, man. Like,
really? I didn't know it was. That's so interesting because I feel personally green Yoshis are weird, man. Like, who's Yoshi? Who's Yoshi?
Yoshi's
what's
weird?
A Yoshi?
What about toads? Toads are weird.
Toad.
You're drawing a weird line in the Mario sand here, man. I don't know what point you're trying to make.
My thing is, first of all, Yoshis are.
You have a hard time with dinosaurs, bro? What's
all I know? Here's the thing I wonder, though. Here's the thing I wonder.
Dragons?
Toads are like mushrooms, right?
Right.
But then, like, you go to Toadstool's Cafe and he serves you all these mushroom dishes. So is he like chopping up his friends and like serving them?
Just because you look like something doesn't mean you're made of that thing. You know?
What?
I don't know.
I was so adamant about a thing I don't even understand.
You can go to Epcot and eat like Groot flesh. You know, they've got like those Bombukan, you know, like tree legs. It's like, come eat a piece of Groot. You know, like I think the fact that we're not doing that, by the way, at Epcot is stupid to me.
You can't cut up a toad and he grows back. At least I don't think so. So anyway.
Yeah, I think actually, well, you know, the mushroom is just the penis of the fungi. If you really want to be technical. It's a mycelial network underground. If you've seen Star Trek on Paramount, you'll understand the mycelial network. It's how they teleport. That was the thing. You guys watch that Paramount one where they're like, we're using mushrooms to teleport. Anyway, so mushrooms are just the penis of the fungi, and they put their little mushroom penis up, and then they shoot their fungi like pustules, all their spores release, and that's how they reproduce. Mushrooms aren't from Earth. I'm a firm believer in that. Mushrooms are aliens.
Look, but I don't want to get political here, but there's only one man who's got a mushroom penis. We're moving on.
Jesus, Joseph and Mary, you're gonna have to cut that.
What happened
Peter,
to this episode?
Peter,
would you? This is what happens when Dan's his connection happened, and now he's involved, and we're talking about mushroom.
Would you be happy if you got a Yoshi sticker if you bought a Yoshi snack instead of having to go hunt them down? Would you would you be cool if there was like a life hack for adults to be like, hey, get a Yoshi turd burger or whatever? I don't know what they serve, you get
terrible. The food is terrible.
Well,
the Yoshi
eats and poops.
You don't want to eat that.
He eats and poops. He eats and poops. He eats things.
I liked the drink. The smoothie was good.
What was it?
Dude, the fettuccine Alfredo, we ate it, and Peter and I looked at each other. We're like, "Oh, this is bad."
Well, I'm surprised you got food at all, because I've heard lines are terrible. Did it get better?
No, it took about an hour and 15 minutes just to get the one drink and like the fettuccine Alfredo and leave. So that took up a big chunk of the night. It was not worth it.
Yikes!
Yeah. That's rough.
Yikes!
The food was not good. I ordered in the Back to the Future section. I ordered this patty melt, though. It was supposed to have a flux capacitor logo on it, and it was like printed off the side of it.
Can I just say for the record that putting the flux capacitor on the back of Stardust Racers might have been one of the stupidest things Universal has done in terms of storytelling, by and large. It has made the most intolerable nerds wander around that park spouting the most.
This is my favorite Dan. I can't hear him. I'm
not hearing any of this.
Nope. Nothing's coming. Can't.
I wish I could hear this rant.
I know.
It's
the Universal God saying, no, Dan can't talk about this.
No, you can't talk about Epic Universe like this. It's not allowed.
There is a story behind the flux capacitor being on Stardust Racers. There's just no theming in the queue. So I found out because I asked people internally, but there is a story of why there's the flux capacitor there. But the guests don't understand it. So you're right. It makes no sense, but there is a story.
I do love a good story that you can only learn if you talk to a team member.
Yeah.
Classic. Good. Good storytelling. Let me ask you. I hate that we've lost Dan again. Our hearts are with him as he encounters the largest storm that has ever hit.
He was so grumpy in the last episode. Now I know why.
He was. Thank you so much, Peter, for agreeing with me that he was being an absolute grump the whole episode. I feel vindicated. This is from the Harry Potter area. I don't remember the name of this creature.
Is that Chris Provost there?
Okay, like this is the new one, right? They did Niffler and stuff, but this is the premiere of this puppet, correct? For FanFest.
He's back.
Dan's back.
Yeah, it's called an Akami, and it can shrink into it can grow or shrink into any size. Much like mushroom penises. It can grow or shrink to whatever space it needs to fit. It can grow to that size. It's a wild bird, and it's so crazy how far we've taken Figment, the whole Figment thing. Because this looks like crazy.
Oh my God, yeah.
And conveniently for this exercise, it has grown to the size of a man's hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Conveniently.
I think it's gorgeous though.
It's really pretty. I just wish it was executed a little bit differently, because the bird is like the size of like a Pandoran banshee in the movie. And like it would have been cool if there was a Fantastic Beast experience where a la Circus Arcanus, capitalized on the anus, is like they bring out like a big old thing, and this would have been cool to be a big old thing, but they made it a little thing. So, it's fine.
By the way, I also have the feeling that a bunch of this stuff was just made for Orlando. Like all the Yoshis, I bet you're going to be able to meet Yoshi and.
Oh yeah, bro.
I bet you this Fantastic Beast is going to be roaming around that.
Well, it's probably going to appear in Japan before it appears anywhere.
Dan no longer exists. We've tried. We've once again lost him to the ether.
He sounds like the Tron soundtrack.
He does. Dan, you're in and out. I'm so sorry. So sorry, sir. And he's gone again. We've lost him in the most tumultuous episode. What was I going to say?
Nathan, is this going to become a lost episode?
No, absolutely not. This is all happening. This is perfectly fine. I just have to switch gears. I can't sit on my laurels anymore as a producer. I have to keep the show flowing. The interesting thing for me is also that they did a bunch of interesting puppetry work for dinosaurs in Jurassic World in was it Tokyo? I think, or was it China? I can't remember.
Both of them, or in Tokyo. Yeah, both of them actually.
I would not be surprised if next year's FanFest has one or two of those brought over. Like that seems like a way of utilizing what they already own, and I don't think that works. If we're not going to get it forever. Did any of you meet the characters from Wicked? Was that a part of your massive agenda?
I met them in Orlando, so I didn't feel like I had to meet them.
You don't want to say hi again? Remember me?
Is Dan gonna pop up? Oh, what? No, well, it was just a long wait. Like,
I bet
you'd be like half an hour, 45 minutes when like the 7 hours. I did 2 full days and I still didn't accomplish everything. So it was more of like I've already met them. I already got their signature in Orlando. So there's other things on the list.
Was there merch bought? Was there any FanFest merch bought by either of you during this trip, or did you find that the experience was enough?
The merch wasn't that great, to be honest with you. In my opinion, the merch wasn't amazing. So I didn't end up buying anything.
Well, also a lot of the merch wasn't really special. Like the Back to the Future stuff is now in Orlando. Like the Yoshi stuff will be. I bought a Yoshi hat and a Yoshi shirt, but like the Wizarding World, I was at Orlando a couple days ago and like the stuff was there. So
yeah,
the Dungeons and Dragons, I think Star Trek stuff was exclusive in One Piece, but a lot of the stuff you could buy during the daytime as a day guest. And there's a couple items that they put out for the event. Same thing with the food. Like the food, you could buy most of it during the daytime, and then a couple stands had special things that you could only get during the event.
Oh, that's really interesting because I that means that makes it even more confusing why the lines were so long for food. Like operationally, they didn't have to switch anything over. Huh. That's weird. Yep. Interesting.
I had the Back to the Future food 2 hours before the event began. During the normal park hours, I used my annual pass and went in there, and I waited at Mel's Diner for, I want to say, a half an hour to make that patty melt and the cookie and a milkshake, and there was nobody else in line. So I think the reason why everything's taking long is probably not related to it being super busy.
Popular,
Yeah.
It's operational issues. This is an update from our dear Dan. Some kind of power outage is happening right now, so I guess
he's back.
Oh, are you back? You said some power outage was out. Oh, he's gone. Oh, we thought we had him and we lost him.
Man, is Lowe's operating this podcast right now?
Shots fired at Lowe's again. Once again. I guess any final thoughts? What would you like to see in year 2? What are the properties that you want to see in year 2 of FanFest?
Well, we can bring up the survey they were sending to guests.
Oh, I would love to hear this.
So
bring up the survey. I wrote a tweet the other day. I was so pumped from this event. Like I loved it so much. I was like, I want to see a second year, and I had like a whole list of ideas that I wanted. So here's my ideas.
Wait, why is there 2 Dans?
Don't question it. Just go with it. Whatever we need to do.
Okay.
So my idea is turn Courthouse Square into Back to the Future 2, and we do this again, but Destination 2015. So they play out Back to the Future 2. I don't know how will they do that with hoverboards? I don't know, but it would be awesome.
Still looks fake.
Jurassic Park Group Pulse story experience.
Yes.
I'd like to see a villain takeover of Super Nintendo World featuring Bowser and Wario.
Mm-hmm.
Some kind of ET Group Pulse experience.
Oh, Botanicus. Bring Botanicus back out.
Imagine if they had a meet and greet Botanicus somehow.
Botanicus. What a weird costume that would be.
I'd love to see something like Back to the Future, but with Amity, with Jaws.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm not sure how you'd play that out, how that works, but
Kevin, thoughts?
So the IPs: Harry Potter, Wicked, Spirited Away, How to Train Your Dragon, Donkey Kong, One Piece, The Last of Us, Lord of the Rings, Ghostbusters, Super Mario, Game of Thrones, Godzilla, Pokemon, Jujutsu Kaisen, Jumanji, Sailor Moon, Back to the Future, Stranger Things, Shrek, Dungeons and Dragons, Jurassic World / Park, Legend of Zelda, Star Trek, or none of these.
That means they got those all in the pocket. If you want to know what's happening.
The strangest thing for me there is that Stranger Things is a property you see at HHN.
Right.
But like that's on that list. But I could totally see that. I could totally see them having Hawkins, they'd probably just turn Courthouse Square into Hawkins. But like that could be cool. Like
Universal Orlando feels like an absolute shoe-in for a Ghostbusters experience. They have the New York. They have the facade. It feels like if they did a FanFest in Orlando, that would be an absolute slam dunk. And as well as a Men in Black, that feels like an absolute home run for an immersive corner over there in the park. I mean, just some photo ops, a crashed spaceship, a bunch of guys with neuralizers. I mean,
they've done some of that too. They've done the pug meet and that sort of thing in the past.
Yeah, but the dog doesn't talk, and that's stupid.
That is a problem. They're going to have to work on that.
They made a Xanthar, now making it
Studios to create a bunch of the aliens.
Yeah, I mean, they could just bring Xanthar over and just have us blast him with a little cricket. I don't care.
I want a meet and greet with the farmer. I want to meet I want to sugar.
Oh my god, that'd be incredible.
I just want to meet weird alien.
And I just want to say they had an ET meet and greet
Vincent D'Onofrio
for a single day, Peter, when Hollywood's Orlando. When Hollywood Universal opened their ET attraction. They flew a drone, like an inflatable spaceship that looked like ET ship. It flew over the valley and landed at the park, and then an E.T. puppet, an animatronic puppet, was like brought up, and Elliot was up on the roof, and E.T. was like, "Yo, what's up? Check out my ride." And everyone like got in and like rode the ride, and you could like see E.T. wandering around the roof of the building of the attraction. And so for one day, E.T. did roam around the park. It's lost media. No one has video of it, so there's only like 3 photos of it from the company that made the ship. Like that, and so it's like this lost, because no one was taping anything. There was no money to make back then. So unlike today, baby, cashing in on getting that good old B-roll. So
it's kind of remarkable, because like if like Epic Universe is opening soon, and I'm like, we're gonna be there on opening day to capture that insanity. But like if you look back 20 years ago to the last big parks that opened in the United States, there's very little footage. I mean, there is footage. There's footage from like Disney and stuff, but it's like, in terms of
Islands of Adventure opening, like you have to like rely on their promo roll, which has nothing to do with the actual operations of the park. You know, like Spider-Man was swinging from a helicopter, and the Hulk was a meet and greet character, stuff like that. Or like Rosie O'Donnell did a special in the park. Or they filmed a Barney movie in the Islands of Adventure shortly after it opened, and so like a lot of the architecture of the park is like recorded in a Barney film. So there's just lots of like that. Like there's like, but there isn't otherwise. There's not a lot of like. You're right, and now it's going to be oversaturation. We're gonna be able to recreate Epic digitally using AI, you know, like digital camera tracking, like in like 50 years. It's going to be wild. Just upload all this to the cloud.
People have taken, I don't know if you've seen the video, but someone took a LiDAR into Disneyland, which if you don't know what a LiDAR is, it basically pinpoints light everywhere and automatically maps your surroundings. And they have Haunted Mansion fully digitized, and they wrote it once with the LiDAR. So
it's wild.
It's pretty crazy, to say the least. I was trying to think of like what would be some really interesting.
Yeah, Dan, what would you like to see?
Yeah,
because you haven't
besides Ghostbusters.
Well, I mean, the Ghostbusters are already a shoe-in. They already have a lot of the infrastructure already figured out in a big way. Ghostbusters were a big part of the park for a really long time. In multiple different versions. For crying out loud, they already have some scripts made. Beetlejuice and the Ghostbusters kind of like had a fight. Initially, when Universal first opened, Beetlejuice like possessed a woman in her house, and she like ran out, and the Ghostbusters would pull up, and Beetlejuice would come out on the roof and be like, "Hey, suck my beetle dick," and Ghostbusters would be like, "Oh, we're gonna have to kill this guy." Happen. And so they would go in, and there'd be a big fight. You could hear through the windows, like they would have like Beetlejuice and Ghostbusters fighting, and then they'd come out with a steaming trap, and they're like, we got Beetlejuice, and then he would escape, you know. So like it like there's so many great old school, and like X-Men guys, the stuff they used to do with X-Men in the park with all like these like live action stunt and battle shows, there's some really good stuff, man, that they used to do that they could just bring back. I mean, not X-Men obviously, but you know, like just bring back the Ghostbusters, you know, the Spooktacular where Beetlejuice causes the Ghostbusters to become like the Backstreet Boys and dance. Like, it's amazing. It's amazing. It's like, it's all there. It's all just there, you know, like, let's do it, you know?
I think that, I don't know what the logistics of this would be. But they're in the list. They're in the subcategory. So I'm going to mention them. I think they need to do, I just lost it. My brain totally went out of nowhere with this. Gladiator is something they could do. Hellboy is something they could do something with. And then there was one other one that
a Hellboy thing would be good. A Hellboy thing.
Oh, the Addams Family.
Addams Family. Hellboy would be like a Jujutsu Kaisen sort of thing, like a niche, real, or Dungeons and Dragons even. It's that sort of like vibe. But my gosh, a Hellboy thing could slap, guys. An Abe Sape, meet an Abe Sapien, big old Hellboy. Yep. You know, just use a little bit of lighting effects. Good time.
I'm also for an American Pie, at least food merch.
You want to see some guy's wiener? Is that what you're saying?
No.
And like, is they're gonna
no,
have to do?
That's why
you can't do an American Pie fan fest
but...
and not have the pie sex scene.
I mean, like, I don't know what. Serving little pies from
with holes punched in them. Yeah.
Don't act like Universal's above it. Don't act like Universal's above it.
Kevin, you're hired. Kevin, you're hired. And then you can tweet about how you had to wait 3 hours in a line to get one, Kev. It's going to be a home run for you, buddy. You're going to have a double down on this and really, really tick some people off. So it'll be great.
But my favorite thing right now is like about the FanFest is the future is kind of endless. Like when we watch a horror movie, we're like, oh, that could be an HHN house. Where now it's like we can watch any movie, classic or new. We'd be like, oh, that could be a FanFest experience. So I think that's cool.
It's great they took the scary out of it. It really helps.
Yeah. Yeah. But like with Disney, they're kind of stuck with these same IPs they've been using over and over and over again, where Universal can pick up all these different IPs, then they bring all these different fandoms into the park, and then they're like, oh, I had a fun time. Then they went on vacation to Universal. So it's almost this kind of like, gateway experience to get people in, and then they want to stay and then vacation there. So I think Disney needs to do something like that to, get more people in the park.
Yeah, it also lets them do stuff fast. I know, obviously HHN doesn't happen fast. It takes a year to build all the stuff and do all the stuff. But to build a theme park land, if they want to build a wicked theme park land,
it's still fast.
Yeah, we won't see a wicked theme park land until 2030 or whatever. But if they wanted to make a wicked one of these experiences at FanFest, it could happen next year.
Well, they did.
We could be walking around Oz.
They did.
I mean, that was just a meet and greet, but yeah.
Well, no, they turned a whole section. I forget which Universal it was. Japan. Was it Beijing or they turned their entire corner of their Main Street corner into Oz. It was wild what they did. It was amazing. It's beautiful. Yeah. The big old wizard head and everything.
Yeah, that's. Oh, you're right. The Singapore one. I thought you were talking about the old Wicked.
No.
Musical.
No. The new one. The new movie. The new
which
movie.
They did as well.
It is the new luxury, that immersive experience kind of thing. It's like an escape room. It is fresh. And again, if you haven't listened to the episode I did with Alicia talking about the difference between how Disney and Universal functions, I mean, Alicia really lays it out deep for how Universal's very quick and can pivot and turn, because it's just a small company compared to the old grandpa that is Disney. And so you can feel it, can you imagine anime at Disney World or Disneyland? It would never happen.
This is 100%. This is the thing that I think is going to really crush Disney in a decade, is the lack of anime. There's been an embrace at Universal, especially in Japan, with how to have relationships with these properties, and these properties are big, and I think that it's a very dedicated. I think anime fans are the new nerds. We used to be the nerds. Star Wars and Star Trek used to be the nerds, and now it's just premium, normal everyday culture. And anime is now
nerds with your body pillows, and your kawaii.
Yeah. Well, and
if you ever go to FanFest in Orlando, you'll see some things, Dan. You'll see some things. Dude, they got goon juice and everything. It's another level.
You can drink. You can drink alien boob juice at Batu. So I mean, that's not.
No. This is electrolytes for people to for their anime characters. There's electrolytes in these special. There used to be gaming drinks. Okay. Yeah. Now for at the conventions, there's goon juice for anime fans to. It's a weird.
I think Dan heard
Heimbach. This is a family podcast, all right, sir?
What was said,
the line is mushroom, fungi, mycelium, penises.
You can cut it.
No. Oh, no. Everyone's going to see the true man that you are. We're going to see what kind of juice you drink.
Look, you'll see people being stepped on at MegaCon. There's some interesting stuff. Hopefully that never makes it.
We need to get Dan to MegaCon is what we need to get.
Yeah,
guys, I did 2 panels at MegaCon this year. What are you guys talking about?
Yeah.
I was at MegaCon. Christ almighty.
You didn't get to see all the people get stepped on. You were too busy.
Oh, I saw some stuff, guys. MegaCon is real wild. I saw some stuff. I mean, any convention is real wild. The freaks come out, man, but they're freaks everywhere.
Yeah.
But I will say that the response to the anime stuff was so huge. I wouldn't be surprised if next year FanFest is just all anime. But I wanted to ask Dan about this because I thought it was so weird. One of the anime characters, as far as I know, I don't know anything about anime, but he had a cigarette and he was smoking a cigarette while he was meeting. I mean, it wasn't really smoking, but have we ever seen a character smoking before in a big park? I don't know. It just seems so weird that.
Well, Cruella de Vil is usually used to be depicted with her cigarette holder. Cruella de Vil is a big smoker.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, yes, that's happened, but we've moved past that. And Actually, the most iconic character that was a heavy smoker, but that got kind of sanitized is Chuck E. Cheese. Chuck E. Cheese used to be an old stogie. He used to love, sucking on a cigar, man. All of his animatronics had a cigar. But then the character got reinvented in like the late 80s and they nixed the cigar. So yeah, man, I love a smoking character. Give me more. Keep putting cigarettes in the hand of the Walt statue in Epcot. I love seeing it. And Walt would have loved it too. He would have loved it. Lucky Strikes or whatever he smoked. Don't let the naysayers are like, oh, we can't talk about Walt smoking. That's gross. It's not.
Should be the one place you can smoke at Disney is in that show.
Epcot, yeah, in that little garden. You should be able to rip as many cigarettes as you want right there. And the whole and like Lone Star Steakhouse, just throw your butts on the ground. You know what I mean? And we'll line dance in them. I don't know if people remember Lone Star, but you used to be able to put your peanut shells right on the ground, and then they would all dance in them. But yeah, people are so weird about their relationship with Walt and cigarettes. It's like, guys, they literally point like this at Disney World because of Walt's nicotine addiction. Like, it's ingrained, bro.
More random than it. You know what's really weird listening to a Dan ramble is when it's also half of a Dan ramble. Do you know what I mean? Like, because we can only hear like a portion, and you're just like, I don't know where he's going, and then there's more, and you're like, it just unfreezes and the chaos continues. Well, sorry, Dan, we're like we want to listen to you, but we can't. You're just coming in and out. It's really hard.
It's gonna be fun for you to edit,
the Disney archives. Dan, if you could get into the Disney archives and look for one thing, what would you go look for? Like cigarette pictures of Walt, or like, I'm sure they have his cigarettes. Like, what would you want to go hunt down?
They did a live action adaptation in the 1970s of the Shaggy Dog, and they did a variant of the Tigger costume that was existing at the time, and they reskinned a Tigger to turn into a white Shaggy Dog. And I only have like one grainy like video clip of essentially a Tigger costume character, but it's a dog, and it's like white and like fuzzy. And I would love to look for like old character like one sheets, because they built it all out. He has a signature, he has everything, but he was only like on a parade float like once to promote the Shaggy Dog in the late 70s, and that made like the Thanksgiving parade. So I would look for stuff like that. I would look for and Walt's frozen body parts, whatever they got.
Whatever they got.
Whatever they got, man.
Dan, why don't we wrap this up, since you're literally in the middle of a storm and it's hard to.
Well, the storm's... Well, I'm connected to my phone now, so I guess it's just whatever.
It's still not very good.
Yeah, well...
Let me tell you how storms work, Dan.
Well, I'm just saying that the storm is gone now, but I don't know what the deal is. I'm dying. My internet's dying.
Dan, I did want to show you this. All right, so I got the autographs from all the different characters. So there's like Marty McFly's autograph.
Oh, wait. Do you think that they teach them how to sign their?
Yeah. There's a certain. So there's like Biff, right?
Wow.
And then Goldie Wilson uses a pencil for him, like, writing all the orders. He pulls out a pencil and he does it. So even the autographs are themed.
By the way, God bless Goldie Wilson, because this actor literally just walks around, and his whole job is for people to come up to him and be like, Goldie, do you ever want to get into politics? And then he like has to say that line. Mayor. Like, he literally says that line. Like, I don't know how he does it, because it's just like thousands of times a night.
Does he have, the character has like gold tooth, right?
Yeah.
Does he have
They're
it?
also good. They're also good.
That's amazing.
Well, so like all the performers out there, some of them are like actual like celebrities in movies and TV. So like the performers in Hollywood are so special, right? Like, they're not just a college kid. Oh, I'm gonna be Scooby-Doo. It's like, these are real. This is their like life, right? Is to be a performer.
Do they address the racial inequality
out there?
They go to classes.
What?
Is anyone
this is a great example. We have no idea what he's talking about.
I don't know.
He's gone. Address the racial inequality. Do the other characters treat him with respect? Is he respected by the other characters, or do they look down upon him because he's a black man working at a diner?
I'm just talking about the quality of the performers out there, man. They're so good. They're so good.
Yeah, but I want to know about the immersion. All right, this has been great. Tear down the whole podcast. This has been awful.
Has it?
So sorry. Thanks for listening.
I don't know what we accomplished. Yeah.
You know what? We did good. We have fun and tell to still do. And through the storm, do you think you can tell us what you're having fun with?
No. I can't. I'm not having fun. All the fun has left me. It's left my body. I'm having a third person experience, out of body experience. I'm like the Hulk when he gets hit, in Endgame or whatever, and his body separates his person. Yeah. That's me right now. I'm having no fun. I'm dying. This has been brutal. I hate my internet. I hate everyone. I don't hate you guys. I don't hate anyone
just
listening.
Just watch some Star Trek. It'll make you happy.
Yeah.
Star Trek.
I think that's a good point.
As a joke.
Yeah.
Because we know how much you love it.
Make yourself happy.
Never mind.
My fun intel this week is I got a MetaQuest 3S not so long ago, and I am just like, I'm getting every achievement in Star Wars Tales from Galaxy's Edge. That game is a lot of fun. It's really fun to have two blasters on your side, and then you hear someone coming, and you just and you got blasters, and you're just going for it, and it's so pleasant. Peter, Kevin, have either of you played? It feels like Peter as a Star Wars.
I should, but I haven't.
Well, I played it at the abandoned NBA Experience. They had a pop-up for it.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
I played it inside the NBA Experience. They had a Star Wars
just next to the director statue. Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. It's really worth it. It's very interesting. I've never played a game like it where you actually can look down and you have your holsters, and then you have like a pack in your middle, and you pull it, and you can like add stuff to it and pull grenades out of it and do all sorts of stuff. It's very interactive, and once you get past the learning curve of that, it's really good. And it's super.
And you're
pleasant.
in Batu
right now, huh?
You're in Batu, like all of it.
You are in Batu. You're in a...
Yeah, but you're in like corners of Batu you've never seen before,
yeah,
so it's
you're
kind of weird.
The best you can get is you're in a cantina, and you can look out the window, and there you are above sort of where Smuggler's Run is. Like, you can see the Falcon, and you can sort of see the entrance, and you can sort of see Docking Bay. And
well, I mean, Peter, the lore extends beyond the fake walls, my friend. Like when I'm in there looking at the Falcon, I'm thinking about how, like there's a Wookiee pooping behind that mountain. You know what I mean? Like there are things going on.
I know. I certainly know what's happening over at Sleestack's Cantina now. So it's worth it. It's a lot of fun. Right now it's on sale. Everything's like 50% off.
Nothing will beat
for
the Batu Sims experience, where you could explore Batu with your Sims characters and play, and it's great. If you haven't Batu Sims 4,
oh, Peter, didn't you do that? Didn't you?
I did that. Yeah.
Was that the one where Bobby Moynihan did voice work for? He did voice work for some.
Well, Simlish isn't exactly something you want to put on your resume. I mean,
no, I know.
It's not real
I'm
English.
just trying to remember. There's been so many.
I thought he did it for the one that you're playing.
No, unless they
I thought
it
was Slack or whatever.
No? Let me look that up.
Riveting content.
Yeah. Do we, Peter? What are you having fun with?
We just got back from Florida, where we spent 5 days in Epic Universe, and just had the most amazing time, because it was like annual pass holder previews, or not annual pass holder. It was annual pass holder previews. Sorry.
Is that how you got in, or did you use the hotel hack?
I mean, we were also at the hotel, but I bought annual pass holder. I mean, it was cheaper for the annual pass holder preview way. So anyways, I was in there, and it was like less than 5,000 people in this park. It's never going to be like that again.
No.
And never. It was, I just spent, like, we spent a day in each one of the worlds, and we made a video in each one of the worlds. So that you can see some of them on Ordinary Adventures on YouTube. But like that place is amazing. I am loving Epic Universe, and every day it's like, it was fun seeing it over the course of like the 2 weeks that we were there, because like every day is getting better. Like every day, like Celestial Park, they're planting new trees, they're planting new, like it just like something new opens. And I'm like, I wish, it almost makes me want to live in Florida. If it wasn't for
Peter, come on, man. Come on.
No.
It's great.
If it wasn't for the humidity and the politics.
Yeah, it's pretty rough over there. But we should note here on this podcast, you will be returning to talk about How to Train Your Dragon Land for Epic Month.
Yeah.
So that'll be a lot of fun.
We're really excited to have you and Kitra on, and hopefully I will have a stable connection then.
Yeah, well, one can hope. Kevin, what are you having fun with? Oh, and I should mention before you say that, you are correct. He does the voice of Sleestack in Galaxy's Edge. His voice is modulated so low, I had no idea it was Bobby Moynihan. Bobby Moynihan's like up here, and there's like, no, it's like that the whole. So I had no idea, couldn't tell. Thank you for my brain now knows that I experienced the Bobby Moynihan Star Wars thing. So great, Kevin.
Okay, yes. Oh, I go to Epic in 2 days, but this time, Alice and I were going to be doing the full
Bro, you're going to be there on the 8th?
She's going to do the $45 one. Yeah, are you going to be there?
Yeah, buddy. Let's meet up. Yeah,
Let's
man.
go!
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Let's rock out.
I'm doing the whole like the $200 experience where they're gonna like turn me into Gilman, where it's like the helmet, like the whole outfit with gloves and like. So I'm excited to do that. So I'll be doing that in 2 days. No, so you can't book it right now. It's walk-ups only.
And it's $200.
So when it opens on May 22nd, well, so the standard face paint is $45, but it's $180, I think. There's annual pass holder discounts, but they give you like all the outfit to wear. So it's the makeup and the outfit.
Gotcha.
So,
and what other than Gilman is there for the $200 experience?
They have a Dracula one, Bride, Wolfman. It's just I wanted to get this.
Did you
done
say
now.
Wolfman or Wolfman?
Oh, Wolfman. I say WOOF. Wolfman. Yeah.
I like Wolfman quite a bit actually.
But,
well, you can't drink and you can't buy alcoholic beverages after you get your face painted. So
because you look too much like a Wolfman. How they know? You don't need a scary Wolfman out there,
right?
But I want to do this now because it's going to get too hot in Florida, and you're dripping with these like outfits.
Well, let me think about it. I might do it with you. I might do it one.
Okay.
I might do it with you. That'd be fun. Dan,
what
there's
are you thinking?
A bunch of options.
Maybe they have some morbidly obese options.
Are you a Dracula?
Yeah, I could be a fat Dracula. Fat Drac. I could be my character. I could be like, and I could interact with invisible man. Be like, I met him last time. He's like, you don't know my story. It's like, no, I don't know anything about you. You're invisible. Do you want anyone to know anything about you, sir? It's great. I love it there. So stay tuned for Epic Month featuring Peter as one of our many talented vloggers.
I'll be there.
Yeah. And we'll have Kevin Heimbach back on as long as he doesn't get canceled for saying something inappropriate about a hotel opening or something.
At least he's got an internet connection, Dan.
What I like about Heimbach is that he doesn't get anyone fired. All right? Like, it's not like he's targeting people. He's just talking about his experience. He's not like, look at these three idiots wearing a backpack in Adventureland or whatever. Shots fired.
Oh, yeah. I remember that controversy.
Yeah.
No,
I can't remember what creator was that. No.
Well, the one thing I hate is when people post about team members and cast members, like they're working so hard, right, just to make this magical experience. When it's like the issues are upper management or the actual company. They're the reasons why you're having these bad experiences. So never take it out on an employee, right? Because we're all just barely getting by down here in Orlando. So it's like, it's hot, it's stressful. Yeah. So be nice and just be nice to every single employee. But if you have issues, take it up with management or the higher ups, because they're the issue and why you're having a bad experience. And don't take it out on just the hourly employee.
Yeah.
Or take it out on Twitter and just, aggressively share your experiences, and then, with baseless aggression, and just let the public go at it. Let them process your thoughts and feelings.
All right, Dan, what is your favorite tweet then from the whole Lowe's debacle that really grinded your
I don't
gears?
know, man. I'm not. Look, I just want to also clarify that I'm not one of you freaking psychopaths with like your group messages that like take screenshots of tweets and like goon juice, as Kevin previously mentioned, like all over, like people like talking about whatever, like what kind of, I mean, like I know that there's like content cop kind of nonsense and like the faux moi or whatever kind of like of it all, of like, celebrities or I don't know, like, but just like the absolute miserable sacks of human like existence that like just like live off of like, oh my God, this guy waited in a line and tweeted about it, and it's made my whole weekend because now I get to like talk about how much I hate this guy because he made a tweet I didn't like once. Like, my God, guys,
I don't lose an ounce of sleep over it.
Yeah, get off the internet if you're at that point.
Well, my thing is like, there's so many bigger issues going on in the world right now, and like that's what you're worried about.
And just look at Kevin Heimbach. Look at this man. You think you would take him seriously?
Bay Nights? Like,
you're gonna take this guy seriously with those eyebrows? You know, those Eugene Levy eyebrows he's got. You know what I mean? So, like, you know, you can't make a man that looks like that seriously, you know? So, like, everyone relax. And it's not like he hides himself in his cut. He puts his big old dumb face everywhere just like me and Peter, you know what I mean? So, like, it's not like he's anonymous with like an AI image as a profile picture, you know what I mean? And a Bible scripture in your profile description. It's people, man, the internet's wild. This has been great.
What?
Land this plane, Dan.
Land this plane. You got someone that you're talking about.
Just all of Twitter. All of Twitter is like this like unregulated hellhole. Profiles. And you tweet your opinions and people go nuts.
What happened was Dan got bottled up for this entire episode by a storm, and now he's been unleashed. And
right, like Benjamin Franklin's key on the kite, baby.
And it's still not that good of a connection, just so we're clear.
It's not.
We're still only getting about 75%.
It's not. And Adult Me has a lot of questions about the key on the kite inventing a light bulb. Like, that didn't happen. Like, there's no way that, like,
an episode. A key, that's for the whole Benjamin Franklin episode. We've talked about this.
Like, murder people? Didn't they find bodies in his house or something for Benjamin
No,
Franklin?
everyone was dying back
on
then,
disinformation about Benjamin Franklin.
He was like a murderer or something.
You lived to be like 40. Tops.
Yeah. All right, let me Google it.
An occasional French prostitute, maybe.
This podcast is going to be sued by the descendants of
Benjamin Franklin.
Yeah, real litigious
family estate.
Here. Real litigious. That's definitely who we're looking out for here. So don't worry.
I can't believe we're waiting. Podcast because Kevin's got to look up if Ben Franklin was a murderer.
This is the worst.
All right, let me look.
I can't believe people. There's no way people are still listening to this.
That's the title of the episode, by the way. Was Ben Franklin a murderer with Peter and Kevin?
And we talked about FanFest.
And we talk about mushrooms, globes.
They found 28 individuals' bones at his residence.
People had, yeah, man. I hate to inform you, certain people were possibly owned by other people during that time period. Just to put that into perspective.
Also,
that made you something else, not a murderer.
So we could like take it apart or something, you know. Like, you know, Ben was known for like getting a piece of something, you know, and be like, I just want to check out how this works. So I get it. You could do that back then. You could get whatever you want if you're rich. There's no regulation. There's no government. They were the government. They could do whatever they wanted. The founding fathers, baby.
That's true.
Yeah. So
you know what?
Watch National Treasure. You'll find all out. You'll learn all about it. National Treasure 1 and 2. And you'll get a full history. That's a FanFest I'd love.
The TV show sucks. The TV show sucks. Do not watch the TV show.
Absolutely not. But I would love a FanFest where it's like, oh, by the way, Walt hid his gold. You know, he hid his gold here in the park, and there's a secret set of like, you know, doors and entrances like throughout the park. That sign me up, baby. Sign me up for that was basically Tomorrowland the movie.
Yeah.
What?
That was basically Tomorrowland the movie. There was like a secret entrance.
Walt left his gold?
No, there's secret entrance.
No, baby. Walt, you gotta have something you're going for here, like Walt's gold, not futuristic hope. All right, we need something tangible and real that we can cash in. All right, the podcast is over. Thanks for listening.
Please end this.
What a mess. What a mess.
Unhinged.
This has been a production of 710 Media.